told you I found you a perfect match. Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Welcome to A Perfect Match, where today we will be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 18. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me is a woman who would never groom her babies like Michael did one of his, Aysha Welch. Aysha, how are you?
I'm doing well, and that's a very valid point. Maybe if I groomed them myself, they might end up looking like that because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. But, you know, they have people.
That was legit scary. Like I saw it once and I was like, whoa, the heck is that?
They
And
said
then
we're going to keep that camera on.
They kept showing the cat because they know that thing is crazy looking. They're like, what? Let's take a look at that again. In case y'all missed the first 2 times, let's get it again. I was like, ah! And it was a jump scare every time. I was like, get off the screen, please. It's going to chase me in my dreams.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a sight to see. But I will say, I know we're about to podcast. We're about to get ready to podcast about this episode, right? But I think I'm going to take a few days. I'm going to take a beat. I think you need it too. And I just need to reset. You know, I'm an introvert. So I need to reset and, get myself together before we podcast because I'm an introvert, right? So, if I take a few days, I can't, leave the Spice Girls like this to come, they're downstairs right now. So I can't leave them and then go back and leave it. It's too much. It's way too much.
Okay. That's totally fine with me and not playing into my insecurities of being left at the altar before at all. So it's totally fine. I'm not worried at all that you'll never come back. I hope you have a great time. Let me walk you to the door. That was wild.
Let me send you some pictures. Yeah. Do you want to see them?
We're still here. Right. Still in the apartment. Waiting for you to come back.
And scene. I was Chloe. Jason was Michael. Just in case y'all did not watch this episode, I know there are a lot of y'all out there.
Thank you. Right. Taking my bow for acting.
It was hard to even say I'm an introvert.
Those words just can't come out of your mouth.
It's just what an extrovert. But yes, we are here to talk about episode 18. Episode 19 looks amazing. So
yeah, can we just skip over this one and go to that one? How about that? As an extra treat, they should have just shown us this episode as well this week because this is honestly kind of a slog to get through a little bit.
It was because I feel like it wasn't anything new. And it's the same issues that we've heard. We didn't really move the needle like we wanted. Next week though.
Ooh, buddy.
We're going on a journey. I wanted on After Party, I wanted Rudy to be like, wait, what was that?
I honestly don't know if they see the actual preview for the next episode because
they don't react enough.
Yeah, sometimes Rudy's so generic every time. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for next week.
Just like the polls. Wow, never would have guessed that.
I never would have guessed everyone would have picked C. And listen, to their credit, they always try to keep it in continuity. They have her do the same things every week with the same stuff she's got on for that after party.
Yeah,
it seems like right before they bring in whoever's on after party, they're like, "Okay, Rudy,
let's do the poll.
We gotta do our poll thing." She's like, "Oh my god, okay."
Wow, wouldn't have guessed that one.
You guys picked D. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. You're
giving her too much. She doesn't even say the letter. She just is like, "Wow."
That was crazy.
That surprised me. It's just
be a little more natural, Rudy, please. They really try. They really tries with these. They, on After Party, Rudy says, what are you guys, what's the reactions to you guys out there on the streets? at this point, I'm pretty sure the viewing public has seen probably 2 episodes by the time they taped this. Michael's like, yeah, everybody's really just stuck on that first marriage. That's because that's the only marriage we knew at that point, Michael. Nice, not good one. Good job.
Like, no one knows Chloe.
Yeah. No one ever wants to talk to me about Chloe. So don't know who the heck is yet.
Imagine they asked that on the episode when Chloe's on. She's like, hey, what's the reception? Chloe's like, no one knows
I haven't
me
got
yet.
anything.
His life is the same.
Man.
But yes, thank y'all so much for being here and listening. We hopefully will have a lot of fun with it. Make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed where you can get all of the podcasts for Married at First Sight, as well as Love is Blind. Jason and Mary are killing it. Can't wait to listen to the one y'all dropped yesterday for week 2 episode.
It's just not the same without you, Asia. It's just not the same.
Y'all are killing it. Y'all don't need me.
I mean,
you had Isaiah on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got to outnumber Mary this time instead of me and Isaiah going toe to toe with you and Mary. Me and Isaiah got to team up against Mary and just bombard her with bad. Yeah, just bombard her with bad takes.
She's like, stop
oh
it!
My God.
I'm trying to reason.
So much nonsense,
right? But yes, make sure y'all go subscribe to Love at First Sight feed wherever you get your podcast. We're gonna shout out and leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate the feedback. So the first one, we're gonna highlight a couple. So the first one I'll highlight is from SMCE Voister. It says, puts a smile on my face. I love listening to the banter. I don't actually watch the show, LOL. I just enjoy listening to Aysha and Jason review it. They are facetious and funny, and I have a smile on my face throughout the whole podcast, except when I'm outright laughing. Also, they are really insightful about relationships. We just listen.
Why is that funny? I'm not insightful about relationships.
You are the expert here.
I'm not a relationship expert. What do you mean? I should be on this freaking show.
I just have opinions. No expertise. Listeners will get a lot of feedback about problematic behaviors. Hey. Go listen to Love is Blind. That's where the problematic behaviors are.
Honestly, I didn't think I would be someone calling people out for their problematic behaviors, at a certain point in my life. I've definitely grown and evolved from, who I used to be. So thank you so much for that. SMCE voice. Look at the growth. Look at the maturing and adulting I've done.
Right.
God.
And then the next one's from Robin Vaughn, the RV. Love at First podcast. I enjoy this pod so much. I don't even watch the show anymore. We're seeing a theme, you guys.
Call us live. We can get people back into your show.
Jason and Aysha are so entertaining for a show that has gotten out of pocket.
Robin Vaughn, the RV. I love that. The RV. Robin Vaughn. Love that name.
That's like a famous name.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is from Events by Ashanta. I like the shout out of the business there. It's titled Love Y'all. The pod is so fun, and the community that comes with it has been the best. Thank you all for doing the hard work of watching all this mess. Listen, it's a hard task, but someone's got to do it. I mean, there's no other MAFS podcasts out there, so we really took it upon ourselves to be the only one out there in the atmosphere. So we're doing this for y'all.
Right.
Y'all need someone to talk about this show. It might as well be us, and we are the only ones talking about it. Don't get it twisted.
Start a war.
A war with who?
Did y'all hear about the Married at First Sight podcasters? Oh, there's some beef. Somebody on TikTok. So there's 3 podcasts. They all talk about Married at First Sight, but there's this guy, Jason, who thinks the others don't exist.
Thanks, I know. So the other one I'm going to do is from Virgo Queen. It's entitled What a Ride. These shows are insane. I have so much fun listening to the pod, though, and knowing that I'm not alone in my reactions to the shenanigans. Also, the Facebook community is top tier. Look at that. Facebook community getting shouted out. So at the moment, and Aysha had some beef with me pre-podcast because I'm letting all these Love is Blind people just come into our community and just flood the page, Love is Blind stuff. Now she knows how I felt last year. Okay. So
No,
last season,
I was just a little confused because I haven't listened to the podcast yet. And I was like, what's with all these Love is Blind passwords coming in?
hey, the people need to talk about this show. They need a Facebook group to do it in. So we were gonna let them
You gave
borrow
them a
our
home.
we're gonna let them borrow our Facebook group for a while. We're gonna get probably a mass exodus when the Love's Blind fervor wears off in like a few weeks. Because the thing about Love's Blind is hot, red hot for when it's on, and maybe like a week after. And the week
Guys,
after Love's Blind
let
is
me
over.
take a beat. Isn't this a weird situation here? So this is a guy who don't mention Love is Blind. That what is that other show? Now look at your tune has changed.
I mean, yeah,
People grow.
I'm on the show. No, it's not growth. It's because I'm on the show now, so I get to talk about it. But no, Love's Blind will be probably done and dusted a week after the finale comes out. That's usually how it is. We forget all about them until that after the altar comes out. We're like, oh yeah, you remember them?
They didn't even do it after the altar for season 5.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, they said they probably filmed it and was like, never mind.
We're not even just gonna worry about this.
Delete it.
Oh my gosh, Milton and Lydia being boring. We don't need it.
Oh, yeah, that could be a TikTok.
Yeah,
like catching up with them.
Enough Love is Blind, Shank. Enough Love is Blind talk. That's not what y'all are here for.
Well, speaking, it was a nice segue because the review talked about the Facebook group. So make sure y'all go join the Facebook group. Yes. Look up A Perfect Match Podcast. Right now, the password is
recovering people pleaser. Oh my gosh, Michael. You know, you're a people pleaser. You know, I'm a recovering people pleaser. Chloe.
I just feel like she may want to be a recovering people pleaser. But she's not yet.
She was a people letter downer in this episode, I felt like. So she's definitely not a people pleaser anymore. So she's shed that moniker.
Yeah. So yes, go join the Facebook group. Would love to have you. If you see some Love is Blind chatter, it'll go away in a couple weeks.
I mean, come on. What percentage of the people that watch Married at First Sight do you think are watching Love is Blind? It's got to be in the 90s.
Oh, for sure. 95%, I would think.
There was somebody in the I don't have their name. There was somebody in the YouTube comments for Love is Blind is like, I'm a MAFS fan. I don't watch Love is Blind. What is this? It's like, where? I know they're watching and listening to this. Like, where have you been? Like,
what channel does that come on?
No, I do think that's what they said. And somebody else in the YouTube comments was like, it's on Netflix. Like, where have you been? This has been like how many years? 4 or 5 years of Love for Love is Blind?
6 seasons. They've pushed out more seasons than there have been years since it premiered, and it's just wildly successful. Like, there are people on TikTok talking about this season that I have never, because obvious people are like, oh, they're talking about it, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't know they watched Love is Blind. Why would I think I know what they watched? I just had to check myself. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she watched Love is Blind. Like, I know.
Why would I know anything about her watching habits? Right. See, that's the thing. That's the thing with TikTok. You start thinking you know everybody. You start thinking you're their best friends. And you get let down.
Yeah, parasocial relationships.
That's why I don't get involved in the TikTok and the Insta face or whatever it is.
What are you, 80?
Huh? Holy smokes. Holy cow.
Let's talk about this episode. Episode 18. Yeah, who do you want to start with?
Let's do Becca and Austin. They had a big that sigh. They had one of the biggest segments of the episode, and we're kind of still going round and round about, in this whole intimacy and all this stuff. Can we go back to religion? It's been a while since that's a religion topic. Can we just get back to that one? Because this is driving me nuts.
Look, can we circle back? Yeah.
Can we just let the intimacy one rest for a minute? It's getting really tired. Like, just let it sit down for a while and pick up its wind, and then we get back to religion part.
Because if you've been listening, I've been with Becca in how she is feeling and how she's not feeling desired, and I feel like she's very validated in voicing that because it's important to her. And I don't feel like I don't feel like she's being too harsh on Austin for wanting to progress their relationship, because she's not asking for sex specifically. Of course, she would love to have it, but she's just asking for the bare minimum. But I have reached the point. I'm like, are
Becca,
we
girl,
still talking?
you gotta let it go. You don't want it.
Because at this point, it's like, what are you fighting for if you have driven this point home continuously in every episode? Okay, so it got it. At this point, it's probably every other day in their world, and nothing has changed. Maybe he's just not the guy for you.
Yeah, I begin to think that is definitely the case. So we start out. And important note, we do see 12 days to decision day as we start out this episode.
We end this episode with what, 7 days until decision day?
Yeah, we took a chunk of time off of this thing. I feel like they're like, okay, yeah, we need to start speeding this up because this is getting a little much.
Next episode is gonna be like, well, decision day is tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. No one's even going to be around to be like, I'm going to say goodbye to you before I go to decision day. Like, you know how we get that most seasons? Like, all right, well, I'm heading out. See you tomorrow on decision day with their luggage. There's going to be no one left.
Everyone's already living separately.
Right, there's going to be no one to say goodbye to. Brendan's just going to leave the apartment, not even say anything to Emily. He's just going to leave. Like, no goodbye, no nothing. Like, everyone else is going to be stuck. I mean, we see some stuff for next episode. It's like, okay.
I know we need to talk about Becca and Austin, but we have not been in this bad of shape in a season. Like, there's always at least one couple that's like, okay, they may be boring, or they may be like Brianna and Vincent, where it's like, okay, they have their little hiccups, but we never doubted that they were going to make it. Like, I know there have been seasons, like the Houston season. We know that Jose and Rachel didn't make it, but we at least knew, like, okay, they're probably going to try to see it through to decision day, like decision day.
And by the end of that season, we had hope for Mila and Gil. We were like, okay, Mila and Gil are like our couple now. Like,
they're going to move in together. Yeah, this season is just like, who do we have hope for? No one.
Not a damn body. Not a damn body.
Like, at this point, give Dr. Pia a camera crew. I just want to see what she's up to on a day-to-day basis. Like, show us a inside look into Dr. Pia's life, because anything else would be more interesting than just constantly going over the same issue with every single couple every episode.
We got to pivot. Let's pivot. Let's figure something else out. Because
let's go back to the drawing board.
Ain't it? Can we pick up more couples? Like, I know there's a couple, like, I know they're going to be right behind Michael and Chloe, but let's put some more fresh meat in there. Let's just ditch these old ones and get some new ones in there. Do something.
Can they make some friends? And then the friends come hang out? Like, we just need some. We're begging.
Let's rematch Lauren. Okay, we'll see. We'll watch that. Sure.
Yeah, let Lauren and Michaels just hang out as friends a few times.
Let's just be around each other's orbit, and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Like those wolves last episode. We're gonna get them 2 apartments next to each other, and we'll just see what happens. Maybe they'll really come around on their own.
Yeah, give them some fun friend activities to get to know each other as friends, and then what's gonna happen? I don't know.
Oh man! All right.
Anything than what we're talking about right now.
Let's talk about this fresh dumpster fire that is Becca and Austin, because this in a scope of a few episodes has really really soured. So when we pick up with Becca, she is at her place and she tells us, "Yeah, I'm staying at my place. I stayed at my place last night because there's a situation yesterday. We were driving."
What? Y'all just got back from the retreat.
We just had a fun wolf date where we're like, okay, we're like the wolves. We're like them. But no, she tells us on the way out of the wolf sanctuary, Austin was buying a few things from the gift shop, and we got into a little dispute because I tried to help him with his bag. I said, that's not the whole story. I wasn't back up. I feel like you're really putting a cherry on top of this crap sundae. It's like, I was just trying to help him with his bag. He got mad at me. Started grumbling under his breath like he likes to do. I was just trying to help him, and then that led to on the way home having more miscommunication. And then he admitted that this past week he's really been questioning if things will work between us. It's like, I just don't understand why this is coming up now and why he hasn't brought it up before. She says, "Man, we really need some help because we're just not doing well right now." I said, okay. I said good. I
Okay.
said good luck, because no one's helping you. No one's coming to help. And wouldn't you know it, this show pulled out the big guns. They pulled out Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper,
Together.
who been chilling, I don't know where. They brought her out. All right, Dr. Pepper, listen, we have no more resources. You are needed. Come on in.
It's at this point that they might as well, Dr. Pepper entered the room. Hi, I'm Becca. Hi, I'm Austin. Because Dr. Pepper is so out of the loop at this point. No amount of recap she can get is enough.
I'm trying to think if she has visited with them this season, and I honestly don't know.
We had Dr. Pia a couple times.
We had Pastor Cal once, I think. And I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe she probably has. Okay, probably at some point earlier in the season has met with them. But
who did she sit at the bar? No, that was Emily and Brittany. There was someone she sat at their like counter at their kitchen with them.
Maybe it was them. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So we come to their apartment right before the visit. Becca, they're sitting on the couch, and Austin's like, "Hey, you want to talk about it? You want to do something?" She's like, "No, I just want to wait for the expert." She's snuggled up on the couch. She's like, "Can I snuggle up behind you?" She's like, "No." As he looks at the camera after he says it,
like, I tried.
Oh, see, she's rebuffing me now. She's rejecting me. She says, "No, I need my space right now." And so Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper
read the room, Austin.
Yeah, bro. Read the he's like, "No, camera on. I have to snuggle. That's the thing. The camera's on, so I have to pretend like I'm. But no, dude, you're in a fight right now. Like that's
right.
That's what's happening right here."
He's been talking to Brennan too much. He said, "And action."
Yeah. So in a confessional, Austin says, our issues are just really snowballing, and the things that we were doing at first just aren't working anymore, and now we're kind of doing poorly with all that stuff we used to be good at. So Dr. Pepper comes in. She says, "Listen, from what I hear, there's a genuine connection between you two, and we're here to help you try and solve the issues that you're having right now." She says, Becca just says that our communication has not worked lately. Neither of us feel heard. And she has been having a more difficult time than she's really let on. And she doesn't want to hurt him, but it's been really hard. And she brings up the wolf sanctuary visit again. She says, "Yeah, I tried to help him get his stuff in the bag. And then he started getting, all grumbly with me. And even the ladies at the counter noticed that he was mumbling under his breath." I was like, "Oh. What are these ladies saying?" Like, did she give him the side eye? Like, why are you talking to your wife like that, sir?
They probably just made a face. It was like very clearly they couldn't avoid this tension.
So then Austin tries to give his side of the story. He says, "Listen, I was buying some trinkets from the Wolf Sanctuary store, and they were going to put it in a bag for me. But Becca interjected and said I didn't need a bag, that we can just put the stuff in the other bag we already had." He said, "I really felt micromanaged in that moment. I felt pushed to the side." Now, I know what happened. Okay. I think we all probably know what happened. Austin bought a new hat from the Wolf Sanctuary. They had like a little wolf on it or something, had like little wolf ears maybe. And he wanted a fresh bag for it because he didn't want this nice new crisp hat to get smashed into all the other bags with all the other stuff.
Squish it.
Yeah. He wanted his nice new crisp hat to stay nice and crisp in its own little bag, so he could get it home and put it on his little wall without being all crumpled and wrinkled. But Becca and her soccer mom energy is like, "No, we don't need new bag. We just put it in this bag. Come on, we already got a bunch of bags. Just put it in this one." He's like, "Just let me put it in its own separate bag. Leave me alone."
Because it's not about the bag. It's about, well, with your example, it is specifically about the bag. But this feeling he has of being micromanaged, it's way deeper. Like, this is how he's been feeling in their relationship and has failed to bring it up because he just wanted to just be passive aggressive in these specific situations when it is happening, rather than addressing the issue head on and like, "Hey, this is how I feel when you do this." And so it's kind of like that, because he hasn't been being vocal is just building up.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them, it's like, oh, this for her, it's like, this is a necessary thing. This was such a small thing. Like, I was just trying to help him. Where for him, he's like, she's always trying to dictate what I'm doing. So it's just like
She's
way
always
deeper.
butting in, telling me what I should do, telling me where to put my stuff. And it really gives, like, to continue the wolf metaphor, it's almost like she's the alpha and he's just like, he's feeling like the beta here.
Mhm.
Maybe, but I mean, Austin kind of gives beta energy, to be honest. Like, I don't know what relationship Austin's going to be the alpha in, but I can't really see it in my head. But maybe
his mom kind of gives alpha.
Oh, that's very true. That is very true. So maybe he's having like trauma flashbacks. Like,
he's like, oh, she's too much like my mom.
yeah. So Becca says, yeah, you were pretty dismissive and combative. You even said to me, direct quote, I don't like being told what to do. And he says it makes her shut down, and then it seems like she is the problem, and their fights always lead to days and nights of rejection. And then even when she tries to flirt with him, she gets swatted away and laughed at. And she deals with it so well, she doesn't even tell him most of what is bothering her. And at this moment, she's got these just super glassy eyes, and she's just like almost like it's all being welled up in her eyes. It's all just going to come pouring down. She is so distraught in this moment. It's pretty sad to see. But
it is really, I mean, because it's more than just that moment. She's just frustrated. It's finally just coming to a head. She's so frustrated with where they are, so frustrated with having to reiterate her needs over and over and over and not being heard. And then things just keep happening and keep happening. And so it's just like those tears were, what are we, 12 days from decision day? 4 weeks.
Do the math.
What I get? I know. It's like I can't that fast. That's like 2 weeks.
68 days.
6 weeks. So okay, yes. So it was like basically 6 weeks of heartache that she's been building. It's just slowly been building. And that's why I was getting so I know we're not there yet, but I was getting so frustrated with Dr. Cal saying, this is 1 week.
He's Pastor Cal. Let's not give him any bona fides that he did not earn, okay?
Pastor Cal.
He's still just a pastor, okay? Let's not give him the doctor title.
Well, with Pastor Cal, in a minute, he says, don't just let 1 week be the reason for you to feel this way. It's not 1 week.
So, and she also comes back at Dr. Pepper too when Dr. Pepper says something, and when we get to it, I want to definitely highlight it because she's fed up.
Yes.
But I will say she says in this conversation many times, she's like, I haven't even told you all the half of it. Well, why haven't you? Like, come on, come out with it. Like, stop.
We're all ears.
Yeah, let's go.
Even an after party, Rudy was like, okay, you want to share? Because she was like, oh yeah, there's just all these, there were so many things that confused me about him wanting to not have sex in our relationship yet. And Rudy's like, do you want to share some of those? She's like, well, I want to respect his privacy.
Yeah, because Rudy's like, he told us on after parties ago that he waits 3 to 6 months to have sex. And Becca's like, well, he didn't tell me that. He told me literally the opposite of that. And some of the things that I heard him say made me even more confused about why he's not moving forward. And Rudy's like, oh, pray tell.
Right.
let me know. And she's like, oh, no, I couldn't. I want to respect his privacy. Well, then why'd you bring it up then? Why did you say that?
You even utter those words?
Those are all those people that we hate on Facebook and other social media platforms, TikTok and Instaface. That's like, oh, man, I'm having such a tough time. It's just been a rough day. We're
this has been the worst day of my life. And then the comment, what happened? Just pray for me.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it. Like, then don't say it then.
Or they just never comment. And I'm just like,
we need to know.
Yeah. You brought that much.
Yeah. So Pastor Cal says, you know what, guys? This is fixable. Austin's like, oh, is it?
He literally said, is it?
At that moment,
if anybody is that alone, those 2 words showed how defeated he is.
At that moment, everybody should have just packed it up and said, all right, y'all go back to your houses because he obviously don't want to work on this.
Let me take off my mic.
Yeah, here's all right. He obviously does not want this to work because he is done. Okay, he's out the door. Okay,
Is it?
Is it though? I feel like it's
Austin.
not. I
Austin,
feel
are
like
you
it's not.
serious? Are you
Man.
serious?
Cal asks what it is. Cal says, "All right, Becca, you talking all this talk. We're gonna confront the Facebook, people. So what is it you're not saying, Becca? Just say it." Becca says, "Well, when the cameras go away, he isn't into the intimacy thing as much as he
He
says he
isn't
is.
down to play.
Yeah, he's not as into it as he says he is on camera." I said, "That's it. I could have told you that. I know that."
Right.
So he says that, and this guy, as if is it wasn't enough, he then says, "Well, just because it's only on camera doesn't mean it's not real." You don't get it. You don't understand, Austin. She is saying that you are play acting for the cameras. That's what she's saying. You're not beating the charge. He's like,
Just doesn't it can't. I don't know if it's he can't read the room, or it's just not registering.
mhm.
Like, he's not hearing her. It's I don't know how he's perceiving what the issue is.
He's very. We've called out his immaturity before, and that might be part of this. I maybe he's just so aloof and just unrecognizing things that it's not connecting somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He does tell it like, listen, I'm committed. It's just the timing just a lot of times isn't right, but it seems like everything has changed, maybe due to the physical intimacy not being where you want it to be, and it just feels like everything is snowballing. Becca says she doesn't. So Cal says, no, Pepper says, well, it seems like he really wants to fight for a relationship. And Becca said, oh, really? Where? I have seen no fight out of
Because
this
she
man
said, this is
at
what she
all.
said it. Dr. Pepper's like gathering what she has just heard. And she
Mhm.
says, well, it seems like you want to fight for it, talking to Austin. And it seems like you're discouraged, talking to Becca. Just like,
Oh no, Dr. Pepper, you got it all twisted up. I know you ain't been here. I know you are not aware. But we are just going round and round in a circle, okay? Because this is just not happening. And she says, I don't see him fighting for it at all. And she says, what he's saying right here is different than what happens off camera. And I'm at a total loss. I said, okay, Becca,
I
call
didn't
it.
even right. And I'm glad she did, because I actually didn't even get that much try out of what he was saying here.
No, not at
It's
all.
like,
Is it?
unless they left it on the cutting room floor, he wasn't putting in much. Oh, I want to save this marriage.
Is it? Is not fighting. Is it? Is not fighting for your marriage, because it feels like it's over. I feel like we should just like all go our separate ways. That's what that feels like to me. And that does not feel like fighting.
It's like you're like, you start the podcast today, you're like, Aysha, actually today we're gonna go under an hour. I'm like, are we?
Are we? Because that's not our thing.
That's what we do.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wishful thinking. So Dr. Pepper tells Austin, listen, if a woman doesn't feel sexually desired, it's going to be corrosive. And that angst, she said angst.
She said angst. I was like, and that made me want to look up the word and see if there are different pronunciations, because what?
I said, are you Michael and making up words now? Is that what you're doing? What are you doing?
Right.
The angst. She says the angst and the sadness comes from not feeling wanted enough. Becca then brings up,
which Becca has been reiterating since the very moment they've been together.
Dr. Perry has not been
Not
paying
brand
attention
new.
she has not been paying attention at the production meetings when they update her on what's happening.
Dr. Pepper's like, oh, Becca just wants to be desired.
They do these production meetings over Zoom, and she's just like, she doesn't turn her camera on. Like, Dr. Pepper, can you turn your camera on? No, I'm not decent. And then just like, she mutes the Zoom and just like play on her phone.
She's playing Candy Crush.
It's like, hold on, I'm almost at level 1,000.
Right.
Was that Dr. Pepper? I mean, some of these couples are on level 1,000.
The ad pops up. She's not on mute.
Oh, shoot.
Right?
Oh man. You just hear Love Is Blind on the background. She's watching while the meeting's going on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hold on, Jimmy's about to beat Jessica. Just 1 second. interrupt me. So Dr. Pepper brings up if a woman doesn't feel desire, it's going to be corrosive. Yeah, no crap.
Duh.
So Becca then is like, yeah, I mean, but at the times, even at the times where I ask him to make me feel more wanted, he goes and decides he wants to sleep in a football player's room instead of, with me. And I was like, yeah, but he was a pretty big football player. And Dr. Pepper and Pascal bust out laughing at this man's face. They're like,
Are
wait,
you serious?
really? For real? He's like, yeah, I know it's silly. I'm like, what are you, 5? They don't say that, but they might as well have.
Their faces said it. Because my thing is, the simple solution is, why didn't he just say we should go stay there?
Listen, I told you could come if she wanted to. Okay. That was
the best invite ever.
Yeah. So Cass says, well, were you drinking? Was there alcohol involved? Becca was like, yeah, but that's not an excuse. Like, and why would he purposely get himself drunk if he claimed he wanted to get intimate? Pepper was
Which is funny. We talked about that because we were like, okay, if he was drunk and he wasn't in the mood, okay, but he knew that was the plan. So you take those actions to not get drunk. Take it easy because you have plans later.
Pepper says, yeah, well, that was really not putting your wife first, Austin. He says, yeah, it was definitely a mistake. It was not intentional. But I did apologize. Becca's got a haymaker just waiting around the corner for him to say. She was waiting for him to say that, and she hit him right with it. She was like, yeah, only because you were prompted to by a producer. Austin's like, oh,
they said, wait a second, Becca, we can't do that. You're breaking the fourth wall.
You have broken the fourth wall into 1,000 little pieces here. We're all standing here buck ass naked behind this fourth wall. You have just broken it down. Everyone is seeing all of our stuff now. She's like, yeah, only because he was prompted to by a producer. And Austin's face is like, oh, so we're going there. He's just like, I mean, that wasn't. He's like, that it wasn't the first time. That wasn't. Okay, Austin, we believe you. Pepper says, listen, can you accept that he's sorry and that he really means it? She says, yeah, but I'm questioning everything, and that's just one example of him blocking our intimacy. Pepper says, well, you know what, I know the solution. I know what will fix this. Let's prioritize intimacy. Becca's like, time out. I done heard this 3 times already from Pia.
She's like, you know what we can do starting today? Let's prioritize.
I know no one else has suggested this, but I think you guys really need to just put intimacy first. Like, Becca has had enough. She's like, no. Pia already did this. This is a rerun. You're just doing the same thing Pia did, and that didn't work. We were given homework assignments by Pia. He didn't do them. And Austin's like, well, it just feels like it's never enough. And even if I do it now, you're only going to say I did it for the cameras. So, Cal says, listen, do you actually want this?
Because they're on camera 24/7. What, why are you not you can show effort off camera, Austin?
It's possible. Let me tell you, you're not Toy Story. You don't, go limp if the cameras are away. You don't come down when people are when the cameras are come around. That's not what happens. Cal asks Austin, do you want this? Do you want to? He's like, yes, I want to do this. I'm really trying, but it never seems like it's good enough. And he asks Becca, do you want this marriage? She says, I'm just really in my head right now, and I wanted it so badly up until this past week. Cal says, listen, don't judge a relationship by this small segment. It's not a small segment. It's been the whole thing. It's been the issue the whole time.
Literally.
Dr. Pepper says, listen, it's wise to just really back away from making any big decisions right now. You guys have deep emotions here, and somehow your trust in each other has just been undercut. And how is it we can get back to trusting? Austin tries to reassure her again, listen, I really want this, and I'm gonna work on this, but and Cal says, no buts. That's just it. You really want to work on it. Period. Yeah.
But
yes, period. Yes, period. Cal says, now listen. This is not about the bedroom, even though I really, really want it to be.
Right.
But at some point, it needs to be. But for us to get there, y'all gotta trust each other, because y'all have these olive branches that are shaped like penises. But Austin, you keep rejecting them, and it's about a lack of trust and sex. Do you need me to show you, Austin? Do you need me to demonstrate for you how it should be? Are you scared to be bad at it? I can show you. I can give you some tips. The bedroom is right over there. It's right there. It's 10 feet away. Let's go. I can show you some things. I can show you some things. Trust me. I put it down. I've put it down for 50 years, Austin. I can show you some things. If you need me, I'm right here. Becca, if you need something, I'm right here. You need to release the tension, Becca, I'm right here. Just call on me. I'm here. Dr. Pepper's like, Pastor Cal, I told you about this before. Stop doing that.
Reel it in.
All right, I'm just saying. I'm
She
right
likes.
here.
She
Sprays with the water.
I just
All
so
right.
happen.
My bad. I've been caught up. This whole season I haven't had it. I'm caught up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I just happen to have this.
I apologize. I got worked up. I got carried away. I'm sorry. But Dr. Pepper does say, you guys need reassurance that there is desire there, and if you guys can just relax and come together. Pastor Cal says, "What you say? What do what together?" Cal, stop it. Becca says she is grateful for him saying, Becca does say he wants to build the trust and he wants to work on everything. Becca says, "Oh, I'm grateful to hear you say that." She says, "I just didn't feel that from you much this week." And her words aren't there at the moment because she is just so emotionally drained. Pepper says, "You guys have to do the hard work and be able to be your authentic selves and say what you feel and what you need." This was a true collection of words. I don't know if anything was solved here. I don't know
Nothing.
if what's gonna happen from now on. This feels like a big no. It feels like Cal and Peppers need to come in here and say they tried before the end. So they can say, "Listen, we met with them, we tried it, and we did the best we could." I feel like this is just the last. This is the trying to plug the leaky boat when it's already sinking. It's already underwater. You bailing out the boat now is not going to do anything.
Yeah, it literally. This was as if they just hadn't had a debrief from Dr. Pia's conversations. And they were just coming in, trying to give advice. It's the same stuff. It was so repetitive. There was no progress made. If anything, I would have walked out of here, if I were Becca, feeling way more defeated, because even Becca, there was a moment she was like, "Am I going crazy? Because what is happening here?" She's like, "Am I just not self-aware? Like, what? Where is Dr. Pia?" Which is what she might as well have said, because Dr. Pia is the one who hears her out when they've had these previous conversations and kind of helps translate what each person is saying back and forth. Where this was just kind of like what's the issue here? Y'all know what the issue is. You should.
Mm-hmm. This is easy. Y'all just gotta prioritize it. No, we tried that 1,000 times. It has not worked. But on the flip side, I don't know what Pepper and Cal could have come in here and said, because Austin just seems like a really hopeless case. I don't know what you could say to get through this man. I don't know what you could do to help him realize things, but I feel like he's off in another world away from this, and it's not going to get any better.
The key is he just has to want to. He doesn't want to.
He doesn't.
You can't force that. And so he's going to make up every excuse in the book, like he's been doing all season on After Party, for why it's not happening. And it's just like, just be honest. Stop trying to spare feelings. You're wasting her time. Look at how distraught she is. I don't understand how the way she was crying, how hard she was crying, didn't faze him.
How you can look her in the face and be like, "I am trying. I'm doing everything. What are you talking about? It's not good enough. It's not good enough for you." You should be able to look at her and be like, "All right, listen."
His heart should break seeing her cry this much about their relationship.
Yeah, she's like, all right, listen. Here's the truth. Here's the realness. I'm not into you, okay? I'm not feeling it with you, all right? I don't know what I don't think we'll ever get the real answer of what is
Mm-mm.
going on with Austin. Unfortunately, I think
Yeah.
we can go through the reunion, we can go through the where are they nows. I just don't think we're ever going to get a real answer to what was happening. We're just going to get the it wasn't
It's just never the
time.
right time.
I think that's what we're going to get from him for the rest of the season.
I do think we'll get a frustrated enough Becca though to get some real behind. Like at the reunion, I don't think she's gonna be sparing.
Well, listen, I've seen some because I had to watch some commercials in this past watching
Oh,
of Married at First Sight, right?
I'm so
And
sorry.
there was a couple of commercials that really like tickled my fancy. One where Becca is just like, "Why did you lie to me?" Like, she's had enough, and she's asking like, and it seems like I don't know what's going to happen exactly, but the previews for next week look like we might be heading toward another early exit here for a couple. So this could be more aftermath of what happens with them, where she's like,
Yeah,
"Why?
a
Well, why did
couple
you lie to
early
me?"
exits.
Yeah. So, we've gone away from the Pepper Cal talk. Now it seems to be the next day, and they are at some kind of like spa place.
Hmm.
They get into this like big old hot tub, which is like a big old barrel or something. I don't know
It looks
what
like
was
the
going on here.
typical hot tub that you see on The Bachelor.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. And so obviously Becca has gotten a new tattoo. Did you clock this at all?
Oh, I didn't know.
So you saw she had her foot outside of the thing. Did you clock that?
Oh, when she was sitting in it.
Yeah, because
Oh
she literally had
no.
her foot resting up on the lip of the thing. And
Hmm.
when she first got in, you could see the tattoo on her foot. But then
Mm.
production must have been like, cover up that tattoo. I don't know why.
Mm.
Because at that after that, she then has a sock on her foot as she has it propped up on the hot tub lip, which must have
Mm.
been supremely uncomfortable.
You're
Like
right.
you couldn't have figured out something else to do besides
Yeah,
this,
I
where
could
she
have
didn't have
done
to
anything else.
sit super awkwardly in this hot tub. Because it was at some point I was like, how is she doing that? Because she's like, looks like she's sitting all the way in the hot tub, but her foot is
Yeah,
like up here. Like,
I
what's
did
going
not
on?
notice that.
Yeah, someone took a close up of her foot from after party, this week's after party, and you see the tattoo. It's a chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird and bizarre. So that was one thing which distracted me the whole time.
Right.
I had to watch it again because I was like, I just cannot stop focusing on
You're like, but
how
her
she's
foot.
sitting here. Right. So yeah, they and then we just get more gobbledygook. We get more nonsense talk. And Austin, who you can see every time Austin is prompted by production to do something. They're like, all right, Austin, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna start this. You're gonna start talking about the expert visit. He's just so just like, so do you want to talk about the expert visit
He's
yesterday?
like, do you want to talk about the expert visit yesterday? I was like, I didn't know he could reach that register. He
Yeah.
was up there.
You want
Do
to talk
you
about
want
it?
to talk about it?
Because
Maybe.
I still say I didn't do anything wrong, but you want to talk about it?
Right.
And they talk about the expert visit being emotionally exhausting. But well, this is what Austin's saying in the confessional beforehand. He says, it was emotionally exhausting, but the vibe has improved between them since then, and they have both realized they need to approach things differently. Once they get in the hot tub in a confessional, she says last night needed to happen, and by being honest, she hopes that this opens things up more for them, and they have a lot of stuff to figure out, and she's still willing to try. They talk about the experts and say, there's a lot. Becca says there's a lot she hasn't said on camera yet, and it's been exhausting to manage these two realities, one on camera and one off camera. Austin just says, yeah, the expert visit was helpful. They give good advice. Okay. She says she needs to know. She's been really trying to figure herself out too, so she's been doing a lot of self-reflection. And she's really been questioning a lot about herself. And if she's being too sensitive about some stuff, and she's questioning what she is actually valid about being upset about, she says she needs to trust that when he tries, it's because he wants to try, not because he's being made to try. He again says he is committed to trying to work on things, and and he's been questioning if that's what she wants. She says, listen, I'm happy that you're saying you're
Bruh.
committed.
All these actions of explaining what she wants, all these tears she shed about wanting y'all to get better, and you're questioning if she wants this. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Tomato, tomato,
Tomato.
tomato.
She says, well, she's happy that he's committed. It's kind of a harsh contrast to their convos before, where they both needed validation, and she's grateful that to know that that's kind of still the same. They both need that validation. Whew, that was quite that was a segment. So that was
And
Becky
they
and
kissed.
Austin. They kissed. Is it real? Who knows?
Oh goodness. Yeah, that one was a little exhausting because it was like sometimes people's segments are so long. Like when we talked we talked like an hour and a half that one time about Lauren and Orion. There was a lot
Yeah,
of stuff to talk about. This
yeah,
was
and it
3
ran through.
conversations.
We ran through everybody else in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. They were the episode for sure. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about well actually we can what's the point? We could rate them.
Oh yeah,
What is the
it's
point?
got to be a 1. It's got to be a 1.
Gosh. Okay,
And then
this is a new record, but yes, we rate them 1 to 5, 1 being we think they are not going to be together by the reunion, 5 being we think they will be. Last week, we've been at a 2 with them since episode 15. So we're both at 1s.
yeah, it's gonna be 1. I mean, for the preview next week, it really looks like Austin is moving out. He's after all this, after this whole episode, where he's like, I'm committed. I really want to try. Next episode, he on his way out the door. Like, okay, that didn't last long. How did it, buddy?
Currently, the highest rated couple is Michael and Chloe with a 1.5 because I gave them a 1 last week and you gave them a 2. So sad.
Man, this is sad. Listen, if you can say nothing else, this is a very unique season. Okay.
Yes.
So much has happened. So much that is new to the Married at First Sight franchise. We've had someone had to leave for medical reasons. We had someone almost get killed by a tree. We had someone get stood up at the altar. This is a very unique season that, honestly, as bad as it is, I don't think I'll ever forget. I don't think
You're right.
because this
You
is such a
remember Denver?
unique, weird
It'll never
season.
be as bad as Denver is what we will think.
Exactly. So it's something I'll always remember. So
Special place in your heart.
yeah, there's that for it. Okay, there's that.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about next?
Let's talk about Emily and Brennan real quick. Okay.
Brennan, the newest husband of the year. Like this dude, Brennan. We see through you. We see through you, buddy.
We see through every inch of you, Brennan, Mr. Husband of the Year, Mr. Caretaker of the Year. You're just shining in all of your little selfie videos.
Here we are once again. Hey! Smile. You're on. Here we are once again. We're just getting better, getting stronger. Right, Em? Right?
Taking it day by day.
Sir, stop it.
Stop
it.
Okay.
Emily might not. Emily might be desperate enough not to see through this, but we all see what you're doing, buddy. We all see it.
We do. That's why the preview for next week was not a shocker.
He back at it. He's like, you're all healed up, right? All right, back on my BS.
And my suspicion is he didn't even wait for her to get healed.
Probably not.
So basically the camera crew was not with them for most of their scenes. We only got a few. We only got the official cameras with them their last scene together. So before that, we were getting check-ins of footage they were shooting themselves. So when Brennan was able to be at peak form, when he felt in the best mood he could to be able to hold his phone up. So the first one was she's laying in bed. She has an ice pack on her face. She has her emotional support stuffed animal, and she had like I guess like a cast or something on her wrist.
Yeah, I think this is confirmation that this is what the cast on her arm was for all the after parties, which was off this after party actually.
It was. And I did start to notice like you can kind of see her scar in the confessionals.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
like the ones where she's like dressed up for nice.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it if you didn't know what to look for. Like
right,
you
exactly.
If you didn't know it was
there. It is.
Yep, there's a little scarry.
Right. And so Brennan says going through this really it's making them stronger. Okay.
Stop.
And then he got we get another moment where he got her some burgers. He's like, we're on the road to recovery, so stay tuned.
He's like, Emily's up. It's 2:30 in the morning. I mean, 2:30 in the afternoon, and she's just now getting up. That's why things are going so well, because she sleep most of the day.
Yeah.
He can go off and do whatever the hell he wants. Like,
Yes.
yep, I just got to deal with her for a couple hours a day. I can deal with that.
Literally. Then this is a moment there in the car. She's going to get some stitches out. The doctor is very pleased with her healing. On after party, she told us that apparently she heals really fast. She told us that when they talked to the experts.
Mhm.
She said that she heals really fast. And he Brennan tells the camera onwards and upwards.
He's driving her to the doctor. He's like, yep, on our way, get the stitches out. Yeah. I'm like, sir, do not even try. Do not.
And so we get 8 days until decision day. She's feeling better. He asked her, like, oh, did you take your pain medication? She's like, oh, I haven't taken any. I do need to take some Advil. The doctor says she shouldn't do anything for about 2 to 3 weeks that will raise her blood pressure.
Get her out of this. Get her out of this thing. The next episode, she raising her blood pressure.
Her and Cameron need to be in the same area, not raising their blood pressure, not raising their heartbeats.
Isolate these people. Just do it.
Shh.
You know what they need to do? They need to get Cameron and Emily in the same room and have Michael read a book to them or something.
He could probably make something up himself.
Oh, yes. He's so fantastic. He can make up stories all on his own. Brother.
And so he says, in the spirit of getting better, he's going to clean. And she's like, "Oh, great!
You know, I'm gonna do all the chick stuff. I'm gonna do all the girl stuff, all the cleaning for you. You're welcome. I mean, this isn't what I normally do. I usually let the lady handle that, but guess I'll do it this time, bro. Just for you, bro."
We get a confessional from Emily saying Brennan has made it very clear he's not going anywhere right now. So he said, like, it's been so nice. He tells her it's been so nice getting all the support from everybody. And she's like, yeah, like it has really meant a lot for you being here for me the whole time. He's like, yeah, like, I feel like
that's right. As he winks to the camera.
Right.
I've been here the whole time. Yep. I'm not going anywhere. I'm husband of the year over here. I only got 8 more days. I can do this. I got this.
He feels like he can trust her way more now. And
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
See, this is what got me. I was like, why do you say that? Why do you feel you can trust her more? I understand why she says she can trust him more, but why? Look, pop quiz, hot shot.
He said, back at you.
Why can you trust her more?
He said, I heard her say that, so I
that's what it was. Like, yeah, but you might as well just say, yeah, ditto. Totally.
Right. She said, who would have thought a tree would have brought us together?
Who would have thought me purposely driving myself into that tree would have made you love me?
Right.
Just like I planned. Just like I planned. Wouldn't it be crazy if you're like, we got this villain reveal, like, that's right, I drove into that tree.
Right. It's like, just before we started, I took out the little brake.
Loosened up my helmet a little bit.
So we did see Brennan meet up with Cameron, but all they talked about was Cameron and Claire. So we'll get to that when we talk about Cameron and Claire. Brennan, the best person to get advice from. He needed to talk to Cameron.
Oh, we'll talk about something that Brendan said when he's talking to Cameron. I almost threw my computer. I said, you said that? But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Speaking of TV update, I go to watch my recording because I start a few minutes after so I can watch no commercials. The audio was going in and out, and I was like,
"No, that happened to me too. That happened to me too.
Okay.
I had to watch it because
I watched it on my laptop.
Yeah, I watched it on because I have Xfinity.
Same.
Yeah, so I watched it on the Xfinity app, and it was fine.
Oh, on your TV?
Yeah, on my actual
like
DVR box, the audio was cutting in and out.
Gotcha. Okay, I said it's time. I said this weekend
TV's gotta go.
I gotta get a new TV.
I shouldn't have said anything to help you expedite getting rid of that TV faster.
Now I need to find another excuse.
The color's not enough.
Right? True. It is. It just doesn't feel like it pushes it over the edge, you know? I could deal with a
I
little
could do a
color,
little miscoloring.
a little brown
No
instead of
big deal.
green. But okay, yeah. So I watched it on the Xfinity stream on my laptop because I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
what's
watched it
happening?
on the Xfinity Stream app. I mean, listen, Xfinity is not paying us, people. So let's make that clear. We're not advertising the app.
Yeah, I was just on Xfinity. My Xfinity.com/stream.
Yeah.
That's it.
Xfinity.com/stream code perfect match. You can sign up. Give you $5 off.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was pretty clutch. Okay, so
let's not I don't want to belabor this, but let's not skip the fact that Xfinity was the problem in the first place.
right, exactly. The box.
Just went to another version where it actually worked.
Right. Because at first I was like, the audio was cutting out. So I said, okay, let me put on my captions. And I said, then Emily started talking. I said, no. It was Becca that put me over the edge because she was
mine
talking
started
about
at the beginning with Michael and
well,
Chloe.
it did.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
I
she
can
was like,
deal.
I'll sit through this.
I literally,
fine.
I took notes through that. and then when Becca got up, I said, I can't. I need to focus.
I said, oh no, this is ruining my experience. I need to find another way to watch this.
Okay,
I cannot take it for 2 seconds. Like, no. Let's see this other part.
So that's everybody out there, or if you have Xfinity. Shout out to the AT&T people out there who survived today, because I didn't have cell service all morning.
Boy, you must have been just up a wall, not be able to call people.
I went to work out this morning. I couldn't even access like the app I usually use. So I was like, had to remember what I was going to do to work out. I was just like, what is happening?
I didn't notice anything was amiss. I was fine.
What do you have?
I have AT&T.
My brother was just fine too.
I think it was, well, I do think they said it was in certain areas. I don't know.
My brother was standing in front of me.
Oh,
he said, I have 3 bars. He said, when you text me this morning, I had LTE. I was like, I literally had SOS.
Oh, damn. Well, maybe he doesn't like you. I don't know.
Oh, but
it must be those new iPhone 18s that only the rich people got that malfunctioned.
So yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen in this world?
Well, there you have it, folks. Don't buy Xfinity or AT&T.
Goodness, what a rough day. It's been a rough week, okay? With these services. Okay, so we do get a group FaceTime with Emily and Brennan.
What was the point of this?
They needed to check on her that she was okay.
So was his little comment about the experts checking in on them? Was this what they were talking about? Did they show this out of order?
Oh, because what did she say? That she was like the experts.
Well, because Brendan was like, "This is great. Everybody's been checking in on you, all our friends, the experts." And then they showed this. Like, was it
right?
Out of order, maybe, I don't know.
Unless they just text them like, "Hey, you good?"
They don't have their phone numbers. They need a Zoom set up by the producer that was the
last
screen.
box. Yes. Yeah. Saw that.
Otherwise, they don't know how
we're gonna patch you in.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn my camera off.
Right. So Dr. Pepper. Okay, this may be a little confusing because I usually put Dr. P when it's Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pia, and they're never together.
They've never been in the same frame.
So I tried to distinguish. So we'll see. Okay, so Dr. Pepper said, she's like, I saw the pictures of the wound and it was so frightening. And Emily's like, yeah, I guess I'm just a fast healer. Like, you know, I'm healing nicely. And she already has her stitches out, which I feel like is kind of quick, right? She's like, she didn't think it was traumatic, and she's just thankful that she's alive. I'm like, that's one of those things where like in a year, she's going to be like, you know, like it's going to like she hasn't fully processed it, is what I think. Like that was a really.
Why do you think that?
It's a big event. Like even people feel that way about car accidents. No, she said she felt it wasn't traumatic.
I feel like
they were like, was it traumatic? She's like, I don't know if it was traumatic, but
I don't know.
Okay, so and then Dr. Pia is very impressed with how she's handling it. She said it really speaks to her character. And then she turns to Brennan, who I'm sure was like, what are you about to say to me?
Don't.
You don't try it.
You better not act up, Dr. Pia. You better not say nothing wrong. You know I'm coming at your neck, girl. Don't do it. Don't test me.
He's like, you know we got beef.
What you about to say? What you about to say?
Talk to Emily. Talk to Emily. Don't talk to me.
You better not say that out of pocket. I've been a husband of the year. I've been
He's
husband
like,
of the year
listening
this
like
last
this.
week. I've been husband of the year this last week. You cannot say nothing out your face
I have
about
been
me.
perfect. Okay.
I've been on my best behavior. Okay.
Well, you trying to get us to do an exercise?
What, you want me to touch her again when she's not clothed? Weirdo.
So, Dr. Pia, which props to her, because I would be done with this man. I wouldn't direct
Wouldn't
no
even
kind
address
of
him.
nothing.
Would not even address that he was in the room.
Yes.
She
So
puts her
her.
hand up. She puts her hand up on the screen so she can only see Emily.
She's like, that check-in earlier with Emily was really nice.
You mean Emily and Brennan? Emily and who?
Right. Do not say his name in my
I
presence.
know no such man's name.
And so she's like, Brennan, Dr. P goes, Brennan, how was it for you? Because, I know it's traumatic for her, but, this was a really big experience for her. And it has to be for you too. He's like, he's helped in the best way he could. And, he did all that he could do. And he was there and he rushed to her to help her. And then Emily speaks up. She's like, I was just happy he was there. And he doesn't even do that well with blood. And he was there and being very helpful.
She said blood was squirting on us. I said, I did not need that visual.
Yes.
You did not need to say that.
I was like, yes, unnecessary information. Yes. So Dr. Pepper, because it's like when you describe it that way, we are able to visualize it more. And it's just like, that's Emily, I am very concerned about this event. This was big.
Too much.
This was big. This alone could have been the reason they delayed the season.
Yeah.
So Dr. Pepper asked them, what have they learned from each other through going through all this? And he feels like it's brought them closer together in a new way, because before, they were just talking. Hold on, I feel like we need to set the mood. Before, they were just talking about, being friends, and, she's been there for him as much as he's been there for her. And it's really grown their relationship.
That was so uplifting. That was just so touching. And how long did he spend writing that? I wonder.
Right.
He's practicing in the mirror as Emily's dozing off for all her pain meds.
Before, we were talking about being friends.
After he dosed her,
we were talking about being friends, not just me. We.
After he dosed her with some some of her pain meds to make her fall asleep. Little did we know.
He's like, you're too up.
Yeah,
Did you take your?
Did you take your happy juice? Did you take your happy juice today? Go ahead, go back to sleep, sweetie.
It's not time for another nap.
Yeah, I'll see you in another hour when I'll put a phone in your face and say everything's been great.
He's awesome.
He turns the phone off. Now go back to sleep.
Right. And so Pastor Cal, he said, look, usually when we match people, we really hope we just hope they're
We just really hope there's just this
all over each
love
other.
and passion for each other, and they're just all over each other. You know what I mean, Brennan? You don't know what I mean, Brennan, because you've been neglecting this poor girl. But you know she wants that love and that passion you got for her. Emily, if you weren't messed up, girl, Emily, oh my God, oh.
It'd be
Dr.
worse.
Cal, stop it! Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, through the computer screen. Stop it! All right, y'all keep talking about your little stuff. I'm sorry.
She's right. Yes.
I'm sorry. I just got worked up. I'm sorry.
So he said, yeah, that didn't happen here. But, they're happy also when they find people who can see the value in a relationship. And then Dr. Pia, she's like, she really hopes this is something they can continue to grow and foster.
Brennan.
Right.
She looked right at Brennan.
Right.
Don't you look at me, Dr. Pia. No, I'm sorry. Don't you look at me, Pia.
Right.
I don't recognize your doctorate.
Then Emily, she started to cry, talking about how Brennan has been there for her. And it makes her think back to when it was so good between them and like just
That
hoping they can
for
get back.
those 2 days that things are really good on the honeymoon. Makes you think about those
Magical.
days. Yeah.
Magical. But all before she asked him, does he know how to have fun? It
Yeah.
was from that moment.
Can you imagine? That
He
was
said, I
that
want
was the
nothing to do
thing.
with her.
That was the thing that set this all off. Do you know how to have
Thinks I'm
fun?
not fun. I'm the funnest guy around.
Do I know how to have fun? What kind of effing question is that? I hate you now. Like, oh, okay.
So, we get a confessional. She says this accident really changed the relationship. And she's really seeing that he does care for her.
Yeah. Emily was on after party. Emily's back. The bad girl's back. She got her cast off. She wasn't as out of pocket.
Not as hostile.
Yeah. She did say Austin was full of crap. She did say that, and she didn't say crap. She said the S word.
She still can't stand Austin. Check.
Yeah, and you can just tell as she's talking about this, she knows what's coming. She knows what's next. She's like, and I really liked seeing this different side of him. It just really sucked that it took this to see it. And I'm just at this moment, I'm really hoping that I keep seeing this Brennan. But obviously, that's not gonna happen because we see next episode in the previews that he tells her one of my deal breakers was a super positive person.
Cue the
just
tears.
downpour of tears.
What have I not been? How have I not been positive? What has been negative? Is what she said. I think.
Yeah, it's like there's been no negativity.
Oh, that was just a huge shift because she's been so happy and on cloud nine, and him saying out. This is like basically showing her nothing has changed. He still feels the way he felt pre-accident.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't rely on on these death-defying accidents to fix things. Yeah. That's a temporary band-aid on things. No pun intended.
Yeah, so then she stormed out and I was like, oh my gosh. And then we see her crying with Claire and Claire goes, and I've heard he's been trying to go on double dates with Cameron.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
I said, oh my God. I have never been more excited for an episode.
It's gonna be so good.
I am appalled.
Are trying to cheat on their wives. It's gonna be so good.
I might watch that one live.
She said, I mean, Claire even was worked up.
Yeah, they were both distraught.
I heard the grapevine that he's trying to go on double dates with Cameron. I'm like, what? Like, I said, okay, get me the next Wednesday. Get me the next Wednesday, please.
Because I was like, okay, could that be editing? Could it be like Claire's talking about one of her friends, like became friends with Cameron or something? But it was like, no, Emily was bawling.
Yeah, I don't
she wouldn't care about that.
Oof.
And another thing that they brought up on After Party related to Emily and Brennan was that Becca brought it up.
Yeah.
That Brennan wanted to get it. No, Emily wanted a new car. Brennan wanted a new car.
Brennan wanted a new car, and he made her drive him around to dealerships to get a new Audi. And you know what they say about people with Audis? Super pretentious, super just awful.
Yeah, so he made her drive him around, which she shouldn't have been doing in the condition she was in. And she was like, and even on After Party, Emily was like, yeah, thinking back, yeah, that wasn't a good thing.
Yeah, well, she was like, at first I was excited because he wanted to spend time with me, but then I realized I probably shouldn't have been doing that.
Right. So I took a beat because this also was the week of Risa Tisa, which I don't know if you've heard. You probably haven't, but there's a woman who has told a story on TikTok. I don't know what rock have you been living under?
Here we go with the TikTok.
Listen. This woman told a story of her pathological lying ex-husband on TikTok, right? Okay, people do story times all the time. The difference in this story time was it was 50 parts. People do
is this the something that I marry? Is this
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I was about to say there's no way you haven't heard of this.
I've heard the name of that. I heard people talking about it, but I didn't know what it was about. Really.
Yes.
Look further into it.
Gotcha. I was there. I was in the trenches last weekend listening, and each part was at least it was like, yeah, each part was around 10 minutes.
Lord.
I know. So I listened
50
on 2 times
parts?
speed, 50 parts. Yes, that
Oh,
it
man.
legitimately could have been an audiobook
Oof.
or a super long, no, way longer than a podcast. It could have been an audiobook.
How many of those parts were entertaining? Like how many parts do you have every part?
Jason, the
How
way
factual is the story though?
it's true. There have been people that are part of the story that have come and backed her up. Like,
Oh my
hey,
God.
I'm his ex-wife. What she's, yeah, that type of stuff. I'm the son of the first ex-wife. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask my wife about this. My wife is deep in the Tic Tac streets.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have
Please
to ask
do.
her about it.
Because yes, the story, sometimes I'm not even committing to a 3-part story time. Okay.
Mhm.
The way that she was such a great storyteller, and it just kept you going into each part. It would be like, it was just mind blowing. Once you started, you couldn't stop.
My wife is doing something. She's been watching full episodes of House on TikTok. Sorry. Just in parts. I'm like, how do you do that? You have a whole big ass TV right here where you can watch the whole episode. Oh, she's like, no, it's better this way. I was like, how? Just how? Listen,
just there.
TikTok has been known for taking away people's attention spans. Maybe they're working on bringing them back now.
Look, the way I was locked in. I was committed to part 50.
Wow.
And yeah, but yeah, it was really, the way that she told the story was great. It was it was captivating, honestly. And then I think across her 50 videos, it's 100 million views. That's how many people, like that's how many views have been.
She about to get a TV show or something now.
Yeah, literally brands have been in her comments saying like, because he took her to try to shop for cars and try to look for houses and promised her a trip she wasn't going to go on. And so like a hotel said, hey, if you come, we got you. Wow. Delta commented and was like, we got you. Hyundai, we got you. DM us.
Tyler Perry tried to buy the rights to her story.
Tubi was in her comments. I said, no. Tubi, Lifetime.
This is too much even for us. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I mentioned I was watching commercials. There was like almost 5-minute commercial for the Wendy Williams story.
I did pause and watch that.
Oh my God.
I was like, wait, this is kind of long on Wendy Williams. So I rewound it and I watched the whole thing.
Bruh, that is sad.
Yes.
I kept watching, but at a certain point, I was like, I might have to turn this off because this is just getting like too much. Like I might have to, save up some time and then fast forward because this is a lot. This is a lot.
We have lost the plot.
We have definitely lost the show. Like we are just now. Welcome to our pre and post podcast conversations, y'all. This is what it is. We have spent the last 5 or 10 minutes talking about nothing about Married at First Sight. But do you care? Do you even mind?
Right. This is where we pivot. Yeah. We got you. You think we're talking about the couples, and now we're just chilling.
Yeah, we're just talking. We're just shooting the ish now.
Right. All right. Which couple do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about the 2 individuals that are Cameron and Claire and what happened with them this episode. All right. So basically, their whole thing, they each had one segment this episode. One where Claire meets up with her mom and Cameron meets up with Brennan, of all people. So I'll go ahead and start with Claire and her mom. Claire meets up with her mom at her apartment that she's still staying in for some reason. Why? I don't know. I'm telling you, she sublet her apartment. She sublet her apartment. Was like, listen, y'all. I know I'm not married, but I gotta stay here. I signed contracts to sublet my apartment. I just gotta stay here. So mom comes and they're like, oh, what's up, honey? What's up, sweetie? Oh, Claire tells mom, listen, a lot has happened, and I just been on an emotional roller coaster. Claire says, I really want to be there for him, but he just doesn't want me to be there for him right now. And I have to deal with that. Mom says, yeah, I get it. When I had cancer, I also kind of wanted to isolate. I said, I get it, Mom, but Cameron is not. I don't think Cameron's isolating. I think Cameron's hanging out with people that aren't Claire. I think that's his thing. He's around other people just aren't Claire.
Right, because hanging out with like his best friends probably does not raise his heart rate.
Yeah,
But
but Claire definitely does.
Mhm.
Listen, Claire, for my health, I just cannot be around you. She talks about how much she loves the person that Cameron is. He's so amazing. He's such a great human. But just husband and wife weren't the right title for us
It's not
right
the
now.
right title. What a way to say. That's just not the right title for us. No, y'all shouldn't be romantically involved.
Let's be real, Claire. You did not find him attractive, so you dumped him, basically. You dumped him without dumping him. You led him on and essentially making him think there was these little hopes that you got to work on a marriage, and then he eventually got sick of it and forced you to to separate.
Mhm.
That's what happened. I mean, tell your mama that. But she's just like, oh, he's just such a beautiful person. And again, this is such a far cry from what we see on the after parties that it's crazy. So obviously
Mhm.
this isn't real what she's saying because she thinks other things about him. And also in one of those commercials I saw for like it was like a MAFS and Prison Bride mashup about like something about love or something. And
Mhm.
Cameron is like almost yelling. He's outside somewhere. He's almost yelling to someone. He's like, "I lied
See that,
every
but
day."
that's not good. He shouldn't be yelling.
You're right, right. He said, "I lied every day for her in this relationship." I was like, "Oh, Cameron, what happened to I can't get my heart rate up?" It seems fine now. When you're talking to Brennan in a second, just casual conversation because she's like,
And he's like, "That's exactly why I was staying away."
"Yep." So then we get it with Cameron, who's meeting up with Brennan. And, it was such a nice moment just seeing Cameron walk into the restaurant, like, "Oh, look at you, tall, lanky ass. I missed you, buddy." He meets up with Brennan of all people. I'm like, why Brennan? So Cameron gives us a little update on his condition. He says, I have an atrial flutter, and it's like part of your heart is beating 3 or 4 times faster than your heartbeat, and it kind of feels like suffocating in your heart. I was like, damn. He says the chances of me mountain biking this year are 0. I was like, dang, that's gotta really suck. That's gotta
Mhm.
really what something that you love so much is such a big part of your personality. You
Yeah.
can't do. It's almost like people telling me I wouldn't be able to podcast. I'd be like, what?
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Who do I
What am I
talk
gonna
about these shows
what am I
with?
gonna do on Thursday nights? So Brennan asks him, so has Claire been supportive? Like, what's going on there? He says, there's nothing to really support. I'm either doing nothing or I'm in hospital. Oh, that's cute. I'm in hospital. You New Zealanders, you're so cute
You're
how you
so
say things.
adorable.
Yeah. Ken says, Claire has talked about me and our relationship to you guys, to everyone. So her feelings about our relationship have really matured, but I'm just not in the same place as her. So, Brendan says, well, is she trying to reconcile? He says, well, I don't know. She was coming at the relationship at the angle of no attraction. And then I got it. And then he's like, wait a minute. He's like, hold on. He's like checking
See,
his heart rate on his watch. He's like, I just
even
gotta.
thinking about this and processing this is stressful.
He's like, he's like, sorry, Brendan's like, take your time, man. Take your time. He's like, I just can't talk for long periods of time. Cam says he wishes he could have made it work, but it caused him stress. He says maybe that's why I can't breathe. It was like a crumbling castle that I couldn't put back together, and that was causing him so much pain. I said, okay, Cameron, you're laying on you're laying on a little thick now, Cameron, a
I
little
knew
thick.
as soon as he said, I said, "Oh, Jason's gonna give him a hard
You're, you're,
time."
you're laying on a little too much there, buddy. He says, she keeps telling me how emotional she is about things, and that really confuses me because I'm not sure if she's emotional about the part about liking or not liking me, or if she's just emotional because she's just caught up in a big moment. So I'm not sure which it is. And he talks about D-Day and not being sure how that's gonna go. And then he says, listen, if she says she wants to stay together at D-Day, I'm saying I want to stay together at D-Day because I'm not gonna hang her out to dry.
I was like, "But
I
that
said,
means staying married."
I said, huh?
I
Do you
know.
mean you're not gonna like embarrass her on the D-Day? So you'll say you'll stay
Like, get
together and then divorce the
divorced
next day?
after?
Is that what you mean? I don't understand what you're meaning.
Like, I think it's like he sees it as like I don't wanna embarrass her by saying no, and she says yes and have
Right.
her looking hopeful, but we're not
Yeah.
gonna be together.
Yeah, but he's like, but
He's
she
like,
would.
decision day is just for play.
He's like, but she's not gonna say she wants to stay together though, right? I think before decision day, he's gonna make it clear to her, like, listen, this is not gonna work. Do not come up here acting like a fool, okay? You say no, I say no, we go our separate ways.
He's like, we're
Don't
not
be
going to be together, right?
don't be pulling any funny stuff and say you want to stay married, okay? Like, don't do that to me. And so I'm gonna try and compose myself here. Brennan, out his full mouth, says, well, you just really got to make sure that she's comfortable to express herself in the moment. I said, Brennan, this from you,
Right.
who didn't want your wife expressing herself in the way she wanted to express herself, to basically tell the truth? You are saying this, my man? I know you're in the middle of being the perfect husband at the moment, but you got to check yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror before you say stuff like this, okay?
That just shows you he talks to talk.
Oh, yeah,
Because
sure.
yeah, like, what are you saying? You're not speaking at this point, you're not speaking from experience. Okay, got it. You're not speaking from any expert, like any certain level of expertise. So what are you saying? Where is this coming from?
He's like, excuse me, I've been acting like a husband for 2 whole days. I think I know a little something.
Right. Ridiculous.
Man. All right. So, Cameron and Claire, do we need to bother ourselves that we would both be ones if we were rating them?
I guess we didn't do Emily and Brennan.
We didn't? Oh, I mean, I guess it's a foregone conclusion. They're ones. I mean, what else is there left to be said?
Yeah, Cameron and Claire are no longer a couple, but going to decision day for some odd reason. No one knows why. Yeah. So I think we're no, we're not rating them. Okay. Last but certainly not least, we have Chloe and Michael.
I'll say this. They're our last beacon of hope. It's a dim hope, but it's our last shining light out there in the sea.
Kind of. Yeah, there are 1.5. So
yeah.
I guess. Okay. So for them, it's day 7 of marriage. What are they doing with them? Are they just going to have them continue and have everybody else? Like, what's the plan?
Well, we did get a listing of episodes coming up.
Okay.
And there is a decision day round 2, which is the title of one of the episodes, which is a couple episodes after the original decision day.
A couple?
Yeah. So listen, what I'm hoping is that we can avoid the where are they now mess, because hopefully we'll get all the where are they now from our original couples in these 2 episodes following the original decision day, and then we'll get Michael and Chloe's decision day, and hopefully we can just cut it there. I don't know.
My goodness. Okay. Well, they've made it home from the retreat, and this was when my sound was a little choppy. So Michael wants to get his work stuff, and he wants to get, Mello, his dog Mello, accommodated there in their new place. He's just gonna bring the other 2 pets tomorrow, like his 2 cats. They're 2 cats, right? Yeah, because she has the dogs. Okay. And so she was like, well, why not tonight? And he's like, well, I got to get all their stuff. And with Mello, it's easy. Just got to bring Mello's food. And he's like, well, before I go get Mello, though, I think I want to take a nap to get some energy. And we get a confessional where she's like, yeah, me and Michael, we've had a whirlwind and now we're back to reality. And, I'm just exhausted. And so he asked her, like, okay, so like, what about tonight? You're going to go get your dog and come back or what? And he's like, well, I'm gonna go see my pups, and then they're old, they're needy, and I don't want to leave again. So I'm gonna just take a few days to be at home with them. Everything's moving so quickly, and we just haven't had a chance to feel, and I think we just need, I'm the type of person that I need a lot of alone time and silence. And so I think we just both need that time.
The way that she spiraled from the first BS excuse of like, I want to spend time with my dogs in their habitat, and the only way I can do that is to spend some days with them. She's like, actually, honestly, no, I just don't want to do this right now. I'm really struggling. I've been around you a whole bunch. You're wearing jewelry and skirts, and I just need a couple days away from you and your feminine womanly ways. Oh, holy smokes.
She is something else, because I was like, girl, she was like, it was as if she was like, okay, I got to keep talking to not give him a chance to try to talk me out of this. Got to give him way too many reasons for him to come back.
And then by the end, she's like, oops, did I tell the truth?
Right. And so then we get a confessional from him. He's like, I'm surprised, and I can't help but wonder if there's something wrong. Like, does she just not want to hang out with me?
But
Shame.
listen, no, but here's the thing. Whatever blind person you Stevie Wonder could see the upsetness on Michael's face
Yes.
as Chloe is saying this. Like, there's no way that you couldn't see that.
He might as well have been physically frowning.
Right. It was on his face. It was like, oh, this sucks. This is terrible. I don't want you to do this. I don't think you should do this. And she's like, you're cool with that, right? And he's like, yeah, sure, right, yeah. Like, come on, Chloe, you tell me that you couldn't see that?
Right.
You're lying to either yourself or to us.
No,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, he wasn't okay with it. What?
I had no clue. He didn't say anything.
Oh, come on, Chloe. Come on.
So,
come on.
And so shame on the Married at First Sight Facebook page, because they clipped this part on their reels and was like, what did they say? Me when I get a K text, or like me when someone texts me K. It's just like, oh, does this person just not want to hang out with me? It's like, that was sad.
Stop picking on this boy's trauma.
Yes. And so she says that, they're about to embark on like the marriage portion of the relationship, and we get a confessional.
No, you already here in the marriage.
The marriage didn't start at the altar, apparently.
I think you're confused. Like, the marriage already started. She's like, it almost like, I mean, it's like we're married or something. We're around each other all the time. Like,
yeah, is this my husband?
You are married. You are married. You are to be together a lot. That's kind of what happens in a marriage.
And we get a confessional, and she's like, yeah, I've given a lot of thought to going home at this point. And, because I have a man here. That's all I've ever wanted. And I don't know what's making me want to take a break. I don't know I don't know what is making me want to take a break from him. Like, girl, you are in your own way. She's like running into the door and like, why do I keep hitting myself? Open it. It's there. You are a smart cookie. And so we get a scene of just Michael at home, and he has Mello at their apartment, and he sent a picture of Mello and him to Chloe. He's like, I figured she'd want to see this.
Don't forget, we're still here,
right?
You're coming back, right?
Don't change your mind. Because I feel like that was so inconsiderate of her.
But listen, be careful what you say, Michael, because you are the one that told her, listen, I want you to be selfish.
He did say that.
And what she do? She did what she wanted to do. She was selfish. Okay? So if you don't mean something, don't say something. As he said on After Party, I really want to live my words. Shut up.
Get off Michael's back.
And then he goes like, okay, here's the other one he said. Here's the other one he said After Party. He said, talking about Chloe leaving, he says, well, she did socialize this idea to me on the honeymoon. I was like,
yes,
that don't even fit. That don't even fit.
It does. You can't use socialize that way.
Someone smarter than me, tell me how that works. Tell me how that fits. Tell me how that word is fitting in that sentence.
It's basically like the way he's using it is like,
okay, yeah, bring out the BS. Come on.
No. I'm saying it's like the equivalent of like corporate jargon.
She socialized the idea to me. Why would you
stop? Okay, Michael has an audience here, and I eat it up.
My sweet prince. Don't
I'm hanging on
say
to
anything
every
about my
word.
sweet prince.
She did what, Michael? Okay.
Oh, she socialized it. Oh my gosh, that's so fancy. Stop it.
So we do have Chloe going to meet with her friend Caesar. They go to this wine bar. It looked cool. And
It's like Asia Welch place for sure.
she said she was
Y'all serve cider? Y'all serve cider here?
No, I love wine.
I'll take a good wine over cider today.
I'm like, those are my alcohol of choice. If it's not wine, it's cider. If it's not cider, it's wine. So she tells him she was feeling very hopeful, but the first week, or she is feeling very hopeful right now, but the first week was a lot. She had to go home for a few days. They had a very gentle and direct conversation about it.
Did you?
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of you talking and a lot of him being like, oh, okay.
Him agreeing, yeah.
That's not a conversation.
So Caesar asked if like she was second guessing anything, and she said, they align on everything, which is incredible. And she's like, she also thinks like he needed at that moment to himself too. Girl, he didn't. He didn't.
Stop it. Trying to justify it to yourself.
Yeah,
Stop
we
it, girl.
both needed it so bad. No, he didn't need it. And so she said she spent that time away thinking about like exactly what she asked for and like how he aligns with that. And she realized that she missed him more and more every day that passed. And so she's like, there's not a thing in their relationship that she's like not concerned about. And Caesar's like, okay, well, that kind of concerns me because he seems like someone who is very good with men. Don't get him is the problem, Jason.
My boy Cesar. Give it to him. Give it to him.
He said he's very good with his words.
Give it to him, say. Give it to him.
He said he's very good with his words. He chooses words very carefully. So,
That's right.
That's why he's a little nervous.
See, we see through him.
There's nothing to see through.
Me and Say, we see it.
He is very transparent and he's open, and you can take him for his word because his words matches his actions. Okay.
He is transparent. I see right through him. Me and Say, we see him.
Why y'all mad at him? What did he do to you? But be just a gentle soul. Gosh.
You stick up for your Mr. Jack Sparrow. And this boxing scene at the end, I said, who let Jack Sparrow in here?
So she's back home. They do kiss, and she has her dog Theodore there. We have Franklin, and then there's another cat.
There's Franklin Graham.
Graham, yes.
Mello and Theodore is her dog. Right?
Yes.
That's the blind dog, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We did find out that she has a pit bull that they wouldn't allow in the apartment because it's a pit bull, which was interesting. More apartment related dog shenanigans. Reminiscent of last year. At least they let 4 dogs in this apartment.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they probably don't. There probably was a pet fee that they did not pay.
That's right. That's what y'all should have done, Chris and Nicole.
Right.
Well, I think that's probably what they did from what Nicole told us.
Right. Yeah. So, so they're decorating for their 90s themed housewarming party. She feels so recharged because she is an introvert, which she is going to make sure to tell us multiple times from here on out.
Do I have to say anything about the attire at this party and how interesting it was?
It was a choice.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
And so Michael did say it was good for him to get back into the swing of work. We get a confessional. He missed Chloe a lot, and he could tell like she has a renewed sense of energy about her, and he wants to make sure she does feel secure and safe around him. They got some pizza, and they're like pizza for good causes. Like the specific pizzas they got donated to specific causes. He has such a good heart.
Enough, Michael. We get it. You're a Superman. We get it.
He is
my
just
God.
really thoughtful and he just makes sure, you know.
What is lingering beneath the surface? Because there's got to be something going on with this guy. He cannot be this nice. Where are the bodies
His
in the
friends say he's
basement,
a people pleaser. That's his worst quality.
brother? Where are the bodies in the basement? Someone go search this man's house. Something
Oh,
something's got to be off for him to be this outwardly pleasant. Me and Say, we see it. Me and Say Sar, we there.
did you notice he was drinking bourbon straight,
Who? Mike?
Michael?
No, I didn't.
And so yeah, he was already sipping on a glass, and then he re-poured, and then on after party he said he was very lit.
No,
So
yeah,
I think
yeah, I guess so.
it got him. And so then we get their friends arriving, and so her friends arrived, his friends came, and they asked like, oh, how's married life been? And she's like, look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm an introvert and he's a full-blown extrovert, and I've been overwhelmed and I've sobbed on many occasions, and he just swoops in and saves the day. She's like, we did take some time apart, and his friends are like thinking, y'all just got married.
I love that shot of Paige looking over at Chloe like, you did what?
Right.
To my friend? Paige
Like,
is a real
sorry,
one.
what?
So I'm pretty sure Paige was the one at the Dr. Pepper when Dr. Pepper surprised him, telling him he was rematched. She's like, so what you gonna do? So what you gonna do different this time?
Right.
Why should we trust you this time when you messed up last time, Dr. Pepper?
And Dr. Pepper's like, we're gonna pick someone that's sweet.
Paige will call you out in a heartbeat. Don't mess with Paige.
Right. And so, he says he did check in with her and stuff. And his friends had a confessional saying, like, they're questioning why she had to justify why they needed so much time apart, or she had to justify so much why they needed time apart. And so we get the segment of like him talking to her friends and her talking to his friends. And so when his friends were talking to her, she said like nothing has presented itself as a challenge at this point. She does ask them for advice about navigating him when he's not at his best self. And they were just like, there's no such thing as over communication. So just make sure you speak your mind. They also said, but also don't let him show you what he wants you to see. Don't let him get away with that. And we get a confessional from Chloe. It's like, well, unfortunately, we're both people pleasers to the max.
To the max.
Ding. And so then when he's with her friends, they ask, if he had questioned her needing time away. He's like, he trusted they did what they needed to do to put their best foot forward. And it's like here, of course, he's going to give them, like, he's not going to, like, yeah, I was like, does she even like me? Like, he wasn't going to come at them, like, saying anything that they would be like, oh, that's a red flag. We need to go back and tell Chloe. And I'm sure your best friend was probably like, perfect answer once again.
Another pageant answer for Michael.
Right. And so they did ask him, have they had any disagreements? And Michael's like, yeah, we haven't really found an area yet because she's so selfless, and I don't want her to overextend herself like in those moments.
Because he did it another time when they were at the beginning of the party. And he's like, well, Chloe's so considerate, and I'm also, but let's be honest, she's way more considerate than I am. All right, we get it. You're humble. We understand. We get it, brother.
You're so jealous of Michael.
Oh yeah,
his amazingness.
extremely jealous.
He said it's all about creating the best environment for love to grow, and he feels confident about the level of effort they're both putting into it.
But the real truth is neither one of them have gotten vulnerable enough or gone deep enough to actually have a conflict about anything. Everything's just kind of surface level right now. That's why you haven't had conflict. Not because you're both people pleasers. It's because you're too scared to scratch beneath the surface to find any real conflict.
Correct. Also, I just wanted to be crystal clear. I think Michael is amazing, and I don't think Chloe's the one for him.
Oh, really? That's news. I didn't understand that for every other thing you said.
Oh, really?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Aysha, come on.
It's
You obviously hate Chloe and love Michael. That is the most obvious thing I think any of us have ever heard.
I thought I was like, you know,
I thought
in
it
the
was fair and
middle.
balanced. No, you are not. Your bias is showing nice and bright. We see it.
Listen, I am an unbiased
Journalist.
podcaster. Yeah. I'm a real journalist that is unbiased. You will not know my true
That does
feelings.
not have a huge crush on Michael and writing Michael and Aysha on all my notebooks every day, okay? I'm not doing that.
Every episode of Married at First Sight, I'm like, where's Michael though?
Yeah. If I knew his last name, I would be putting all that on all my notebooks. Aysha, Michael's last name. That's what I'd be doing. But I don't know his last name because he's on a television show and they don't release all that information.
Oh, so we get day 12 of marriage. We have fast forwarded time, y'all. We are moving.
Yep.
Moving. So day 12 of marriage for Chloe
Next
and Michael.
episode is going to be 1 month anniversary.
Exactly. And so they go to his boxing gym, and she it was so subtle. She said, "Holy smokes." And then she sees the guy boxing. She's like, "Holy cow."
Jesus Lord. How old are you? Are you 60? Like,
Holy smokes.
Holy jeepers. I was not going to explode
Jeepers
the
creepers.
Oh my jeepers.
Oh goodness.
All right, Grandma.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Okay, so he wraps her hand so they can prepare to box and stuff, and she says it's such a turn on to see her husband be so sexy in the ring, and she said he got some strong arms, and so she's watching him go, and he's good. He is an athletic man, and so
Did you slow it down? You're just like, go, Michael, go.
You turn me into creepy Pastor Cow.
You get it, Michael. You hit those pads. Ooh, you bad boy.
Like, I don't know why that scene was so long. I watched it for at least an hour.
Had to watch it twice. My Xfinity messed up again, and it just kept rewinding it and showing it over and over again. I didn't know why that was.
And so, after he's talking to her.
Wish that was me he was training. Wish that was me he was grabbing my hips, show me how to box.
He told her, he was like, you remember it's like all in the hips, because earlier he showed her it was all in the hips. So he's like, yeah, remember it's all in the hips. And she's like, oh, he's gyrating again.
Gosh. All right, Grandma.
Okay. So then she tells him, she's like, so I did find out one thing. So your friends told me that you're a people pleaser, and I'm a recovering people pleaser. And, you've done such a good job being there for me, but I want to talk through what you need from me. He's like, well, I haven't felt the slack that I haven't been able to pick up. Or he said, I haven't felt that the slack that he's had to pick up has been beyond his capacity.
Why say 5 words? You can say 12. God.
I told you. Oh, leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Leave Michael alone. Yes, he hasn't felt that the slack that he's had to pick up has been beyond his capacity. And so she feels like if they keep, focusing on making the other happy, they're going to run the risk of like not focusing on their own needs. So next we got a next time on for them was they're going to be in a sex shop. So it's the sex episode for them.
We find out next episode Pastor Cal's directing this one. I know. I have an idea, guys.
Like
we're gonna send you to a sex shop. It's one of my favorite ones. It's the one I go to every time I'm in Denver.
Right. I'm like, interesting. Yeah, when I looked at the credits for the next episode, it said director Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I got the hook up there. They'll let us film in there.
Right.
I'm a repeat customer. Every time I come visit y'all in Denver, that's the next place I go.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's it for them. So what are you thinking? We were I was at a 1, you were at a 2. What are you thinking?
Listen, just to salvage any hope for this, I'll bump them up to a 3. Why not?
Wow.
Listen, we're going to a sex shop next week. I just can only hope that this brings some spark of something. I don't know that, but I feel like most times when we do these excursions to sex shops, it's always like a tease. It's always like a, well, we're
Mhm.
not having sex yet though. Like we get a sex box, but we're not going to actually have sex.
Right.
I just gotta I just gotta hold out some hope for this season. So I'll make them a 3. Like, give me something, people. Come on.
Yeah, I'll go up to a 2. So we're at
Mhm.
a 2.5.
Yeah, but listen, Chloe, don't be running off again. Okay. That
Please.
that was
That's
that was
my
not cool.
fear. That's my
Yeah.
fear is like she did it once. It was great. She felt rejuvenated. She's going to start making it a habit that's something she needs to do.
You know, I just need another recharge, Chloe,
And
it's
then
been 2
here
days.
comes here comes Dr. Pepper. You know, me and my husband live separately.
Right.
So,
It's a great idea. I'm telling
right?
you.
She said, "Don't knock it.
Doesn't mean your marriage is failing. It just means, you need some time apart.
Just
Nothing
have
wrong with that.
different needs." So yes, that's it. That's it. We made it through.
We
We did
made it.
it.
We it was a 2-hour episode. I'm proud of us. I
I
thought
know.
this could have been a record for the shortest podcast, but hey,
Right.
we aim to please. Gave
If
y'all
we
2
were
whole
in the
hours.
Yes, if we were in the business of going back it through and getting rid of unnecessary stuff, we'd probably be at an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, easily.
But thank y'all so much for sticking with us. We will be back to talk about episode 19 next week. It should be a good one, so come back. If you're
Yeah,
thinking about giving up, come back.
looks like it's gonna be some drama here. So come on back.
Yeah. Jason, where can people keep up with you?
You can find me on Twitter at JAYR1085. In these podcasting streets, you have, of course, heard about the Love Is Blind podcast that I'm filling in for Asia this season with Mary Kwiatkowski. This most recent episode, we had Isaiah, aka 8 Ball, on the podcast where we tortured Mary with our bad takes. So check us out there. You can get that podcast in the same place you get this podcast on Love First Sight feed. You can also get it on the same YouTube. So very easy to find. Check us out there. And we have a lot of fun over there. Asia, what's going on in your world?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on all social media at Asia Like Asia. That's AYSHA like ASIA. And you can find me here every week talking about Married at First Sight. And you can go follow the Malshipu sisters on TikTok. I miss their presence in here today. They're downstairs with their Uncle Aston. And it feels lonely not having them sleep at my feet. Like how do I podcast?
How could we get their whole podcast without you being distracted by Pepper and her cinnamon doing something cute?
I know.
Like guys,
I'm like they sleep on their
you should
back.
see this right here. Oh my gosh, I can see her little belly. Oh my gosh. Her little carrots. You carrots. How could we have gone a whole podcast without that? Oh,
I know it's very
I missed it.
odd.
I missed it.
Yeah. So
I missed the pre-podcast.
I know.
Trying to calm them down. Like, okay, guys, here's your treats. Calm down now. Mommy's got a podcast.
I know. It was odd. And I got the option too. My brother was like, "You taking them with you or you leaving them
Please
down
take
here?"
them. Please take them.
I was like, I can leave them down here.
Oh, great.
Oh,
you were like Chloe and he was like Michael. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
He's like,
Yes,
yeah, I
please leave 'em
totally
here.
want to babysit.
Yeah, totally. It's like, I think it was good for both he and I.
All he's doing is playing my PS5. So I don't.
Every now and then he throws something for one of them to grab when they bring it to him. Like, all right, get out of here, you mutt. Trying to play 2K over here.
Literally, that is exactly what he's playing. Okay, well, thank y'all so much for sticking with us. Like I said, we'll be back next week. Make sure you go join the Facebook group, A Perfect Match Podcast, where the password this week is Recovering People Pleaser. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed, and we'll be back next week. And so we will see y'all then. Bye.